Hi everyone, welcome to the Dave's World YouTube channel. So I had a lot of people contact me because they wanted the parts that I was making for Gen 1 and Gen 2 cruises, so I decided to start a website called Supercruises.com. Hi everybody, welcome to Dave's World. Today what we're going to be doing is installing one of my wastegates onto the Equinox. Basically, a wastegate on the Equinox gets weak over time, and what ends up happening is you lose boost and it makes the truck feel sluggish. So we developed a wastegate that will work on this turbocharger to help bring the boost back. And when we tune the vehicle, which you can get tunes through my website, well, here, I'll put the website pretty much in the video somewhere, but it's davescustomparts.com, or you can go to ultimateecotex.com. It'll bring you right to the the Equinox section. Anyway, if you put one of these wastegates in, you can get your boost back and then repair your turbo, and then also when you want to build more power out of the truck, you can generate upwards of like 35 psi. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I just want to show everybody, this is pretty much what a wastegate looks like on almost every turbocharger. Typically when you get an aftermarket wastegate, you have to set the preload and assemble them, and it's sort of a little tricky. Basically just tell me what truck you have or what car you have, and I'll set the preload for you. So all you need to do is basically unbolt these two nuts, and there's a little pin right here, and you can swap out this wastegate. It's that simple. I typically keep everything I'm doing in my videos, even though I can do some jump cuts and just get right to the end or right to the point, but I like to show people what they're in store for. Now, if you're working on this wastegate, keep in mind that if the engine's at operating temperature, everything I'm touching could be upwards of 400 degrees. If it's that hot, you should really wait until the truck cools down or try and use some thick gloves, but then that'll make it harder to work. But I just want you to know that if you're running your truck and you decide to go out and mess with your wastegate, you will burn your fingerprints off and or burn some of your skin off if it's too hot. So always work on a cold vehicle. The reason I keep this stuff in is because I do help a lot of people learn how to work on vehicles, and I want to help everybody as much as possible. Okay, before I pull this wastegate off, I want to show everybody a comparison. For starters, this wastegate's starting to rust, and I've seen at this spot right here, when this gets rusted enough, this actually snaps. But typically the spring goes weak before that rusts off. Usually when these springs go weak, I see wastegates pretty much opening at like 3 to 5 psi. So I'm going to pressurize this real quick, and let's see what this one's doing. Alright, so this one's moving at just shy of like 6.5 psi. So that's already not the strongest wastegate. Now let me show you one of these. So this is my brand wastegate. Typically you see one of mine open at about 12 to 15 psi, depends on how I set it. I have this one set for about 12 psi. So when this pressurizes, you should see it start moving. Yeah, it's starting to move right at about 11, and then fully open would be about 15. So that's pretty much what we want to see. Wow. I can set this even higher. It depends on how much boost you want to run. One thing I want to go over is I've been testing these Ecotech wastegates for about 4 years now, and it's at the point where I pretty much know my way around any wastegate ever designed. If you tell me that you want a wastegate for your truck that produces 40 psi, I'll literally set it up for 40 psi. And when you receive it on your end, you can bolt it onto your turbocharger. And if you throw in one of the tunes that I can provide you with, your truck will have that kind of boost. Simply throwing a wastegate on and messing around with the basically the rod that's adjustable is not how you set a wastegate. A lot of people do not realize what the spring pressures mean. Even in the video I just showed my wastegate opening at 12 psi to 15 psi, that doesn't mean the wastegate's going to make 12 to 15 psi, that's the spring and opening pressure that I set it for. I physically test each spring, and I have custom weighted springs that I put into the wastegate. So if you say you wanted something like 30 psi, 25 psi, 40 psi, each one of these have to be set perfectly on my bench jig, so when you get it on your end, it'll work perfectly and you won't have any problems. A lot of people try to buy like a universal wastegate, and they try and put it on their car, and they can't get it to run right. They get overboost codes, they get underboost codes, they get stuff binding, or they get the wrong wastegate and it doesn't fit. And then they're trying to go to the hardware store to make stuff fit, and none of it works. And then next thing you know, your universal $150 wastegate is now damaging your turbo, or you're just throwing that away because it just doesn't fit. And then you come to someone like me who has the correct part. So I'm good at showing alternatives in my videos, and the one thing I like to show everybody is the custom options. These wastegates pretty much come with a lifetime warranty. So if you get one through me, it has a lifetime warranty because it's a wastegate I offer. And you can get them in custom colors. Pretty much the sky's the limit with custom colors. If you want pink, blue, purple, red, it doesn't matter. Let me know what you want, and you could also get wording on these as well, which is a nice little custom touch I like to offer everybody as well.